your choices and all this, but mind versus brain, soul versus body. And those are the things we're going to kind of get in here. But the question here says, what should we do when we consider other compelling accounts about the world, how it came into existence? Well, first of all, it says, and there are 3 parts, A, B, and C. And again, this is a small catechism. We should evaluate those assumptions they use, determine the reason for these assumptions, and consider whether they lead to unbiblical conclusions. I will say with that part, I don't necessarily like how that's written, because it's more like it's saying, like, if the Bible doesn't say that, then you can't. I don't like how it's written, but I understand what it's trying to say. But we should look at their assumptions. You ever watch the Bill Nye versus Ken Ham debate? Yes. Long time ago. You could look at it, and I have to be honest, I thought Ken Ham did not a very good job. I just don't think he did. But most of the things that Bill Nye said were just hypothetical situations. That most of them, if you truly look at it, and I like how J. Warner Wallace put it, it's not science that gets it wrong, it's the scientist. It's the scientist that makes the interpretation of the evidence, right? And as I said, like, you have this evidence, everybody sees it from different perspectives. Was it an interception or was it not? You have all these different people out there with what, so that's your opinion, right? And other people would say, no, according to the rules, it was. According to Gene Steratore, who stated, like, you could, but we all have these opinions or whatever. I don't know what the answer is, okay? But regardless, we all come at it from different viewpoints. We have to understand that, not be mad that you're wrong, but we fight and argue over those things, right? We don't, but there are people that do, right? I mean, you're wrong, it's fine. But look at those assumptions. Take into account, Bill Nye really gave a lot of assumptions. And most of them, and what I did, I remember that was back when I was at another church and with the youth group. We went over it, and I explained, this is where he didn't say this, this was where he was fudging this, and this is where this, and this is where that. So you got to pay attention to that stuff. But I think it's very important for us to know the other side. Because I think a lot of times we don't want to know the other side. Nope, I'm a religious, I believe in God, it's only that. Yes, but God wants you to know other stuff, so learn where they're coming from, what they're saying, but also understand those assumptions, because most of the time we're doing assumptions, and, sorry, we also give those assumptions from a religious perspective too. We do. We just have to admit that. Okay, but if we follow it along, again, this is where, like, some things we'll never 100% know, but we can look at where the evidence leads us.